What's up, all my YouTubers? Today's topic is how I dealt with and battled depression for so many years after losing a very close loved one. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Leave a thumbs up and comment if you like. Or I was about 14 years old when I lost my granny, who was also like a mother to me. Um, it was so hard, so stressful, so painful. Still to this day, it's painful, but I can say I tolerate it more now. I can cope with it better than I used to. Um, Cause it took some time. It's been going on 9 years since she has passed, and it has really been a challenge to just cope with it and deal with it on a daily basis because this is somebody that I spent literally every day with, and I went from that to not seeing her, or being around her at all ever again, and it was life changing. It was very hard. So, um, I just want to say that she was really like my best friend. We share the same birthday, September 19th, Virgos, of course, and she was a very loving person. Let me just say, anybody that came across her and had met her really just knew that she always gave love and showed love no matter what. That's just who she was. And when I lost her, I was in the middle of cheer practice. I had actually just got there, no longer than, I say, an hour and a half or something like that. I was at the All-Star cheer practice for the North Detroit Jets, and my granddad had came to pick me up, and I was just thrown off. I'm like, "What you doing here? Practice? It's not over. Why are we leaving? What's going on?" He was just like, "Oh no, we're just about to go see your granny." So, that's what we went ahead and did. And to my surprise, she wasn't here no more. It was no seeing her or going to say hey or anything. She was already gone. So that had a really hard impact on my life because, like I said, this lady was my best friend, and we spent I've known her all my life, just like any other grandchild and grandparent relationship would. And I just remember thinking at that moment, like, man, she's so young. She was only 50, not even 51 yet. And I was just remembering our last birthday together, which was, we had a big old party for her 50th birthday, and I had all my little friends and everything come, and we had a ball that night. All my cousins and family, everybody, we turned up for sure. But anywho, um, it was so horrible that when I would cry or get super upset about it, or just super stressed and down about it, I would have panic attacks. And I've had those since before she had passed, actually. Um, those are never, anybody that has experienced those know they are nothing to play with and not easy to deal with at all. But anywho, it was that bad to the point where I was having panic attacks. And then I would close down just because I felt like people didn't understand or really try to know or get to know, what I was going through. People just looked at me like I was crazy, but shoot, I was hurt. I was, devastated, and I still am to this day. But um, some of the things that helped me was writing, because, like I said, I felt like nobody understood me at the time. So my best outlet was writing. I always loved poetry. I've always been into poetry since like seventh grade or whatever, middle school. And that was one of the things that really helped me more than anything, because I was able to just pick up a pen and paper and just really write down all my emotions and feelings, or write it into a poem, or write how angry I was and just ball it up and throw it away, or just keep it and read it, and just to understand, like, these are some of the things I went through, and now I'm moving forward. I don't have to react like this to certain situations. I don't have to think like this in certain situations. So that helped me. And then also in high school, I had got into like a little grieving program where it was other people, other peers of like around my age or whatever that had lost somebody they were close to, and they were pretty much going through the same type of things, and they were in a group, and it just, that was a big relief because the whole reason why this was so hard for me, of course losing her, but on top of that, feeling like nobody understands or cares. So being around other people that was experiencing the same thing I was kind of going through at the time, my same situation, made it more like, oof, it's relief. I'm not alone. You know, I'm not going through this by myself. I now have other people I can relate to. You know, not, of course you're not gonna make best friends out of it, but you, like I said, you get people that you can relate to and that understands you and care or want to hear what you got to say and how you feel. Um, Another thing was music, of course. I've always been a fan of music. I love music, so I'm always basically in my own little world when I am listening to music. So to try to help me get my mind off of whatever I'm thinking about, how I can listen to music and I'm good. That was kind of the situation, but at the same time it wasn't, because I would find myself listening to a lot of her favorite songs. Like I said, we were kind of like best friends, so a lot of her music she liked, I loved. So I would listen to those songs to try to think about the times we would sing together and all of that stuff, and it just made me more emotional and more hurt. But in the long run, it did help because I wasn't just keeping those feelings inside all the time, which was another horrible thing I did for most of these years. Like I said, I kept everything inside because I felt like nobody understood and nobody cared, or nobody really wanted to hear what I had to say or how I felt. So I kept those things inside, and that builds up. That is a big no. That's something we are not going to do. Like, do not mask your emotions. Do not hide your feelings. Let them out. Acknowledge them. And just don't become them. It's okay to be upset with certain things. It's okay to feel down at times or whatever. Just let those out, acknowledge that's how you feel, and move on with your day. Like, it's not gonna initially make your feelings go away, but that's just a better way to live your life instead of trying to always pretend and act like you're something that you're not, like you're okay when you're not. Just let it out. I'm not saying you gotta let the whole world know your business, but you could just let it out, pray to God, talk to God, write it down, write a book, whatever. Let it out and continue on with life. So couple other things that I wanted to say helped me along the way is cheerleading. I've cheered almost all my life, so that's one of the sports I would do to help take my mind off of anything else in the world. I can focus on just cheerleading, and that helped a lot because you don't want to. Well, for me personally, I wanted to just continuously remember, sit there and just live in the past, remembering all of our memories together. And I mean, it just didn't help because the more I tried so hard to remember, the more I actually forgot. So it's just better to, I don't know, be happy and think positive about the situation. Think about that person no longer suffering. Think about all the stuff they liked or the things they were encouraged you to do. You don't have to live your life the way they will want you to, but you always keep them in the back of your mind. Think about some of the things they share with you, some of the tips or advice they gave you when they were here, and that honestly is pretty much the best way I can say I went about it, because this is just that I've learned from myself, from my own experience. I've learned this all firsthand, but mainly this whole process I've been going through it and learning it since it happened, and I just wanted to share some of these tips with anybody that's out there
through depression after losing a loved one that you pretty much are really close to. It's just, I know it's a hard process and it's very tough, but hang in there and it will get better. That's really the best advice I can give you, is just hang in there. Life will get better. It's not going to get easier. You're not going to stop missing that person. Of course, you're always going to miss them. You're always going to wish they were here with you. But just keep fighting, keep going on daily, and keep finding ways to motivate yourself if you are feeling down and depressed to the point where you don't want to interact with people at all, you just gotta keep going, man. It will get better. It really will. So if you can relate to this, if you like any of the things I was recommending and saying to you guys, leave a thumbs up, comment, share with me some of your experiences, some of the things that help you cope.
Missing someone